Hey, what's up guys, Guardian here, coming to you guys with a video today going over the new Ezel cards that just got revealed. So yeah, Platina Ezel is back, and he's got some support cards to go along with him. I think it was a rare and a double rare, if I remember. So let's have a look. So first of all, we have the rare, which is a grade 1, called Inflame Lion. So it has two skills. First one is auto back row rearguard circle. When your unit is placed in another rearguard circle in the same column as this unit during your battle phase, if your Vanguard has only one clan, you can pay the cost of Energy Blast 2, stand this unit. So that's not too bad. An extra boost is always handy. It's interesting that it's only one clan that it's asking for, so you could use this in other decks, but not exactly too sure how useful this would be in other decks. The only deck I can think of off the bat that could use it is like MLB, because you call like a blaster to your rearguard circle and then you could stand this, but again, not too sure how useful that would be. I'm pretty sure MLB doesn't have the room for something like this, but yeah, maybe Ezel could utilize this. It's not too bad, I guess, but it depends on the deck space, I guess. And then the second skill is auto rear. At the end of your turn, if you have a grade 0 or greater Vanguard with Ezel in its card name and your unit was placed from the deck this turn, you may put this card into your soul. I don't really like the fact that it's pretty much a -1 just for a soul. I get it from like the angle of avoiding removal, so it's like if this was going to die anyway, you might as well put it into soul. So that the opponent can't interact with it. And also soul could be useful depending on like any soul blast costs that you might need to cover in the deck. So yeah, it's an interesting card. It's you know, for a rare, I think it's like okay, but I don't think it's like great, if you get me. So yeah. Anyway, so we'll go into the double rare next. This is a grade 2 called Slash Feather Dragon. It looks pretty cool. Not too bad. So has a continuous skill. So if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Ezel in its card name, this unit gets all of the following. So the first one is auto. When this unit is placed on rear, you can pay the cost of Counterblast 1 and perform either draw a card, or you can choose an Incandescent Lion Blonde Ezel on your Vanguard circle and increase or decrease its drive to 2 until the end of turn. That's interesting. So now when we superior ride into Blonde Ezel, we could use this for a counterblast cost to then gain that drive check back that bow mains would have taken away. So that way we're not minusing overall, we're now breaking even. Because obviously you got to discard the card and then Ezel would be performing one drive check. Which means overall that turn, if you take in the mind the discard that you did for the right deck, you would be -1 card in terms of card advantage. But this card basically refunds it. Now notably, it only works with Blonde Ezel itself, so whether or not this works with Platina, still yet to be seen. Obviously we'll know once we get to it. But you can just opt to draw a card instead, so even if you're on Platina, this will still draw you a card. And it's also interesting the fact that it's like, you can either draw a card to try dig for more pieces and more bodies, or you can increase the drive check of Ezel to make it more pressurizing. But again, it's only Blonde Ezel that works with increasing the drive check back to 2. So yeah. Anyway, that's the first bit. So the second part is auto rear. When this unit attacks a grade 3 or greater unit, you may have this unit gain 5,000 power until the end of the battle. And then if you did, at the end of that battle, put this unit to the bottom of your deck, and then pay the cost of Energy Blast 3 to draw a card. Okay, so I will say this straight away. I like this card for the fact that it's just a draw engine, in that you're paying Counterblast to draw cards, and it puts itself to bottom and draws a card as well for Energy Blast instead, which is also nice, because one of the issues Ezel was having was finding cards that replace himself without like minusing you that much. But the other thing was like there was a lot of one-for-one exchanges in Ezel and not a lot of like card advantage generation, like things that actually generate you pluses. And this is plussing you because you can get a draw from the first effect, and then you can get another draw by replacing itself, which covers like the cost of putting it to the bottom basically. So you break even with that, but then you also get the draw from the first effect, which is really, really good. So this is exactly the type of stuff I was hoping to see, was ways to generate more card advantage and more pluses basically. Now, one thing that does need to be stated here is that second skill can only be used when your opponent is grade 3. So yeah, but at least you can pay back the cost with the Bowmains with the first one, so it's fine. I do think this is a really good card though for the deck. It's another sort of Mirage unit that can like put itself to the bottom, and it's also drawing you cards to help replace itself and generate advantage, which is good. So yeah, rather impressed with that one, so that's really good. So Slash with the Dragon, very good stuff. Okay, so finally we have the big man himself, Blazing Lion Platina Ezel. Really, really cool artwork. So let's see what this does. Please be good. So first effect is continuous, Vanguard Circle. If your soul has an incandescent lion blonde Ezel, this unit gets all of the continuous and all of its auto abilities and power plus 2000. Okay, wow. That's interesting. So we're basically just inheriting the skills of the blonde Ezel. So we're getting the attack skill to counterblast, top 7, call 2 to open rear, and also your Vanguard gets 10k. And then the continuous skill, was the ride skill continuous, like where you can only ride Ezels? I'm pretty sure it was. But the other ability that you got was the Soul Blast skill, where if you had 3 or less units at the beginning of your ride phase, you could Soul Blast to look at top 3 and call 1 to rear, and then the others go to bottom. So you are basically just getting Blonde Ezel skills, but you get 2k power continuously, which means you are going to be a 15k base, which is very nice. If MLB has taught me anything, it's having a higher base power Vanguard. It's very nice to have just in general, because it means you have to dedicate less resources to guard specific magic number attacks, which is really, really nice. So yeah, this should help in terms of holding on to those resources. So the second effect is an axe skill. So once per turn, you can pay the cost of either Counterblast 1, or you can put one of your grade 3 or greater Ezels from your rear guard into your soul. Interesting. So the normal blonde Ezel is still going to be used, it seems, in the main deck. You get to choose a Reign Supreme King of Beasts from your drop and put it into your hand. This unit gets 5000 power until end of turn. And then if your opponent's Vanguard's grade 3 or greater, perform all of the following. This unit gets continuous, Vanguard. All of your front row rear guards get 5000 power until end of turn. And then if you have 4 or more cards in your damage zone, this unit gets critical +1 until end of turn. Alright, okay. I kind of need to break that down to understand it a bit more. So you can either counterblast or put an Ezel from rear to soul. You get the order back, which is nice, since we can pretty much recycle 1 copy of that order constantly, which is really good, because one of the issues I had with that order was that once it was used, it was kind of done with, and you just had no other way to like bring it back really. So with this, you could recycle it and yeah, maybe get away with it being a one-of in the deck, which is quite nice. And also it's with it being an axe skill, obviously you're doing this during the main phase, which means you can then use that order to then look at the top 7 and then call something that you want. Now, the issue I'm having with the bottom part of the effect is it only works if your opponent's Vanguard's grade 3 or greater. So it's nice that you're getting 5k power to the front row rears. That's really good, especially when you stack that on top of the grade 2 promo that Ezel got. That does a similar thing. So your rear guard's going to be quite buff on top of this skill. And then also we have crit pressure now, but only when we're at limit break. So yeah, it's not going to be immensely powerful initially, but in a later stage of the game, this will definitely be more threatening, because Ezel not having the crit pressure before did make the Vanguard swing less pressurizing, and also it wasn't particularly that big as well. It was like 23k, 33 on Persona. It's like okay, but not like, you know, it was fair basically, you know, and you know, we can't have fair cards anymore, because the game's gotten to that point now where things need to be a bit more powerful to have a chance, it seems. At least that's the way I see it. But yeah, so with the design of this, it's looking like you're keeping the original Blonde Ezel in the deck in general. They still want you to superior ride into Ezel, and then hopefully use the grade 2 to sort of like counteract the initial minusing that you have to do that, which I really like that. If anything, I really like the grade 2. Like, the grade 2 I think is great. Platina Ezel is decent. I like the fact that it just inherent the original Blonde Ezel's skills. So you're still doing the same sort of mechanic of like, you know, calling to open rearguard, you know, playing enough Mirage units to like put away. But hopefully with the addition of the grade 2, we can have a little bit more card advantage, and not like, not essentially like have a dry setup basically when it comes to like hand size. But yeah, I do like the extra 5k to the front row though, that's good. The crit pressure is always appreciated, even though it is limit break restricted. And recycling the order I think is really cool, because that basically turns Ezel, well, I shouldn't really say that. It is basically a Keter pile deck where you're going to be playing Tearfall and Sergion probably, but not much so with the Wisdom package, but more so focusing on the Ezel order itself, since you can just bring it back now from the drop zone, so you can like use it every turn consistently, which means that Tearfall and Sergion are always going to be live, which is really good. I do think that's a decent, at least a powerful engine that we can play in the deck that's consistent and reliable. So yeah, and also we were playing Tearfall and Ezel when it first came out, so it's like, you know, give Ezel a break, you know what I mean? So that sort of a card was like really well designed for a deck like Ezel to use. It's just that we didn't really have a consistent way to like use the order every turn and get to it basically. But Platina covers that, which is good. So I really like that. But yeah, that's my initial thoughts on these cards. Pretty cool overall. Like I said, the grade 1 is kind of a bit meh to me. It's like okay at best. The grade 2 I think is amazing, and then Platina Ezel is also quite interesting. I do like Platina's overall design, but I need to like I need to feel how the cards are in physical play, because, you know, looking at them now is like one thing, but then playing the deck and testing it, that's going to feel different. So yeah. So anyway, that's going to do it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and share your thoughts in the comment section below, and I will catch you guys in the next one. So until next time, this is Guardian, signing out.